All right, quick update on the seat adjustments and the suspension setup. So what I've done is went up to GMD Computrack, talked to Kent and Tony, and trying to set sag on this particular bike is a bit of a pain in the ass. You basically can't do it. So those guys, they just went by feel. Tony took it out for a ride and came back and said, where I have it, he said, don't change it. Just leave it where it is. It feels great. So maybe I just got lucky on it. I did 8 turns of preload on the front and 20 clicks on the back. 8 out of 10 turns, 20 out of 25 clicks. And I ride it in mode 2 most of the time until I hit like some more aggressive twisties and I just drop it to sport mode. He said I wouldn't change it. Trying to set the sag exactly, you can't do it on this particular bike. Like on a BMW or Ducati, the valving is stiff until you turn the key on, and then it turns off. The valving opens up, and you can, push the bike and see where it settles and measure sag. This stays stiff as a rock until you're moving over 4 miles an hour. You have to have both. You have to be moving down the road, and then it's analyzing the road, and it's analyzing roll, pitch, yaw, whether you're braking, whether you're accelerating, what gear you're in. It's taking all that stuff into account, and it's adjusting the damping on the fly. When it's just sitting there in their shop, it's not doing anything, and it's full stiff, like to where you can't really compress it. So they said that was problematic, so they're like, we're just going to go for a ride and see what we think. And they came back and were like, it's pretty brilliant. Tony said that he was expecting the suspension to be shit. And he said he took it into some turns where, some fast switchbacks back and forth with some ripples and bumps in the pavement, some roads he knows pretty well, just to see if it would upset the suspension, being on the side of the tire, flicking it back and forth and being on the side and hitting those bumps mid-turn. And he's like, it just kind of went and corrected itself, and it wasn't wallowy or any of the things he was expecting. So he came back thinking this works really, really well. So don't have any magic settings for you or anything like that. It looks like I got lucky for my weight. I weighed myself this morning, 238 plus gear, and I've got 8 turns in from fully out and 20 clicks in out of 25 from fully out. Came back, had about 640 miles, so I did my second oil change. I did my first break-in oil change around 150 miles. I just did a flush again, get the last of the final break-in stuff out of there with Motul 7100 full synthetic. And let's see, what else? The seat, I rode it with the shims in the lower position and ended up preferring it back in the higher position with the front leveled with the shim kit. So everything's nice and tight, not moving around. I'm still trying to find the right angle for the bars. And this is a me issue. This is not going to affect most people. For some reason, I have a problem getting my neck comfortable. I don't know if I'm straining. I don't know what it is. But I had this problem on the Z900. And it wasn't with the low aggressive bar. The low aggressive bar was more comfortable on my neck than the high upswept bar. There's something about having a bar that's up high that my arms are up, and it causes tension on the back of my neck going down into my shoulders on both sides, right to the ball of my neck. When I'm leaned over and I'm leaning on the bar, I have to be careful not to lean too hard because it'll make my wrists uncomfortable. But that, like riding the R1, doesn't bother my neck at all, crazily enough. Now, the extreme bar angles of the stock bars were bothering my wrists, but that's why I put the Healy bars on there. And now it's perfect. So with this, it's trying to find, the right position, being up and back and high and what you think would be more comfortable. For whatever reason, maybe from injuries in the past, I don't know, it doesn't work for me. So getting more aggressive is what usually makes it more comfortable. So I may have to swap out the bar at some point. And I've got a couple bars up there to try. I've got another Rizoma bar over there, if you can see through that mess. I've got the bar that I bought for, actually this might even be the damn bar. This looks a lot like the bar that is on there now. No, the bend is slightly different. So I don't know. I've got a couple Rizoma bars that I can try and see if I can get it more comfortable. I've got it in a position now that I think is pretty good. So I'm just gonna have to ride it around and see. Maybe I just gotta loosen up. I don't know. It's definitely a me thing. It's not the bike thing. Everybody that sits on this thing is like, oh my God, it's so comfortable. And when I was riding the Z900 RS, everyone's like, why are you trying to put the low aggressive, sport bar on there? You're going to make it uncomfortable. And for me, it made it more comfortable. The high swept back bar is what hurt my neck. So I don't know. Anyway, that's the update. The suspension settings, I came in there. I was like, how much do I owe? They're like, nothing. Thank you for letting us ride your bike. It was really cool. It was a lot better of a ride than we thought it was going to be. But they didn't charge me. They just said, look, you got it set up about as good as it's going to get. It feels great to us. So just ride it and enjoy it. Stop worrying about it. So very good guys up there. Really like dealing with those guys. Anyway, that is the update. You got any questions? Throw them in the comments.